Hey everyone. I just want to just go through some of my, my pros and cons about owning the Galaxy Tab S7 or S7 Plus. I do own both. I recently just got this one right here, upgraded from the 11 inch to the 12.4 inch. Not going into details about specs. You've seen 1,000 videos, and this device is about a year old anyway. So, you know, wrong channel. Just want to kind of tell you my experience. So first thing I want to start off with is this fingerprint reader right here. I don't really like it where I didn't, but I was on Twitter and a couple people told me to register my fingerprint twice, and since I did that, it has been a lot better. So as you can see, that it opens pretty fast. And before then, I was having a lot of issues of it failing and just not working, and I just couldn't stand it. And I don't use the face unlock, and I don't like using the pin unlock. Well, of course I gotta use the pin, but I don't like using the face unlock because after 4 hours of inactivity, then it would lock, and I still have to put my password in, which I just didn't like. So I just used the thing. But I prefer it to be here on the power button. I definitely don't like it here, and I definitely do not like face unlock. I know a lot of people who love Apple love, the face unlock on the iPad up here, or what power button up here. But I tend to pick my tablets up like this, so I cover this up a lot. If Apple had placed it here, I would have loved it, but I still don't like this by itself. I wish they had included maybe this. I wish they had included, the optical or whatever, Touch ID, whatever, you get it, Touch ID. Or put it on a power button, just like I think they're AirPad, iPad Air, whatever. All right, so yeah, the reader, just it's cool, it works. Thumbs up. Performance. I'm not gonna go into too many details of performance. This thing is a beast. Normally you'll see reviews online, and you mostly see them pretty much literally doing renders of videos and all of that stuff. That's not how I use my tablet. So as far as my performance goes, opening and closing apps is, oh yeah, watch all day, is exactly what I do, and it works fine as far as that. So as far as performance go, it's great. Apps open and close just like I need them to, and it is what it is. So I have no problems with performance or anything for that matter. So there's my notes. But yeah, so not much to touch on as far as performance. It's great. Apps is a touchy subject because a lot of apps aren't optimized, yes, for Android tablets, and that seems to be the argument between this and the iPad. But I believe that most of the apps that I use on this tablet as well as my iPad, they're all optimized. They're good. I do have a few that aren't. Obviously, Instagram sucks worse. Actually, sucks more on the iPad than it sucks on the Android. Because let's see. Hold on. Now, none of these. My Instagram is not even on my iPad. I think I removed it. Who cares? Anyways, none of these deserve a pass. I mean, at least I get the full screen app on this one. But on iPad, it's more like a little small one. They make it bigger. It's about right here. So it's just, both are trash. But one of the apps that I use consistently is Twitter, and I really hate. Was that a crash? I really hate Twitter on the Galaxy Tab, so I have to use a shortcut. This is the browser shortcut right here. And of course, I wish that the Twitter app was a lot better or optimized for this tablet like it is on the iPad, which looks great on the iPad, great. But but for the most part, all the apps that I use are great. The iPad does have a lot of exclusive apps, and it has a nice little amount of pro apps, I guess, if y'all want to call it pro apps. But it does have better video and photo editing apps, unlike this right here. But that's not my poison, so none of that matters. the conversation ever came up and we're like, hey, you got more pro apps, and they tell me about, you know, LumaFusion, what else I got over? They tell me about LumaFusion, Procreate, Affinity Photo. You know, they tell me about all these apps. It means nothing to me because theoretically, I bought these apps. I tried to edit my photos and my videos up here, and I have been successful, but I prefer to just stick with Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, Final Cut, and Vegas. Those are the 3 programs that I use, only because I bought a M1 Mac Mini, so now I'm learning Final Cut. So I can't do the photo and video edit on iPad. Some people can. That's your poison. Cool. Not me. Let's see if this works again. No, wait, wrong spot. We're gonna get it, guys. All right, here we go. Yeah. One day, you know, this is, you know, Android's, I'll say, yeah, I gotta say Android's best option for a tablet, and it's the, you know, the first premium one. So maybe the developers will be like, hey, we need to start making apps for the Galaxy S Tab 7 or, you know, the Galaxy tablets, because it looks like Samsung's gonna keep this ball going. So maybe the support will come later between Samsung, the developers, and Google, and whoever else. You know, maybe we'll get that one day. If we do, you know, the app support would not be a problem anymore. So fingers crossed on that. Next thing I want to touch up on is speakers. I mean, need I say, the speakers are amazing. I don't know. Let's see. They're amazing. You might want to turn your thing down. I don't know how loud this is going to be for you, but yeah, I want to see if there's any action moves up here. Let's pop some anime up in this jank real quick. You know, we ain't gonna be going down this long old list right here. We're just gonna play some Kung Fu Panda. Screw it. Maybe some kids.
But it's so heavy, Master.
30 years I've waited for this moment. Everything must be exactly how I envisioned it. And I envisioned it a little to the left.
Yeah, so I enjoy watching movies and listening to music up here a lot.
Shut us down about an hour ago, but we still in this bitch. We're still in this. We're still in this bitch. We're still in this bitch. Yes, turn the shit up loud.
Yeah, so speakers are great. That's it. They're nice and full and rich. I never had a problem with speakers. Matter of fact, they're louder than my speakers on my Surface Pro 7, and they're more fuller on my, you know, than my iPad. But, you know, then again, this is 12 inches and that's 11-inch iPad, so it might be more comparable to the big one. Matter of fact, this is the biggest tablet I ever bought. That's a tablet. So yeah, let's grab some deck stuff and, you know, kind of grab some deck stuff. So when you connect your keyboard and you go in, well, I don't have decks turned on. I'm not gonna use the back cover right now, but let's just go into decks. Did it connect? Oh, it didn't even connect. My bad. All right, there we go. All right, so we go into decks. All right, and you got, you know, your whole desktop layout setup thing going on here. Pretty much it turns it into a Chromebook, a much better Chromebook than Chrome OS to me personally. But let's go to one of those problems I was talking about earlier. So let's say I go back into the Samsung Shop app. Now it fixes the problem. Now it's in the orientation that I wanted in, because, you know, I use my tablets in landscape and not portrait. So this is perfect right here. And my watch is on the way. And it's supposed to be here today. I'm so mad right now that it's not. But, you know, whatever. And even with Twitter, if I was using the Twitter app, it would actually be in a window just like this. And I love that you can snap things to the side, and you can pin things to the side, and you can do multiple things at the same time. Blase, and go down your timeline and cycle through your photos. Or, you know, look at a YouTube video at the same time. It really doesn't matter. Dex is really, really good for all of this. So it's great. So I love Dex, but I'm not gonna go into details about everything in Dex. If you got any work that you need to do, file management stuff, this is where you want to do it at. Other than that, you want to be in tablet mode, boom, there you go, and you go right back. And it's a whole different type of interface by itself. So it's like whatever you're doing here is still here, whatever you're doing there is still there. Yeah. So the next thing I want to touch up on is the size of this tablet. For portability, I do not like it. I do not like it. I like it for everything as far as my media, my drawing, maybe even not even really reading. It's big. It's really big. For the people that's using a 12.9-inch iPad, man, kudos to you. I can't do it unless it's pretty much connected like this all the time and I'm using it in this form. You know, that's the only way. But tablet form, it does get a little overwhelming and big. So I still kind of prefer the 11-inch tablets. You know, my iPad is like perfect for everything, but working as far as screen size goes. So it's like, you know, I wish there was a between size, you know, not too big, not too small, that can just be perfect. But, you know, choose your poison. Some people might like this size for all of that. Some people might like the 11-inch for all of that. You know, I just wish there was like a size in between, but you know, whatever, it is what it is. I'm also, the next thing that I want to talk about is, you know, Samsung's ecosystem, I guess. You know, you can't like, you know, talk about this and not talk about that. I'm just going to briefly talk about it. So I am well adapted into the ecosystem. I do have the phone and I do have, and I do have the buds, and I also do have the watch currently on the charger at the moment, and I do have a Windows tablet. And the ecosystem between everything that works together is pretty great. It's close to Apple's ecosystem with a lot of things, give or take. And the only reason I say give or take, because there's features in Samsung's ecosystem that Apple is not touching, and there's features inside Apple's ecosystem. Did I say that right? There's features in Samsung ecosystem that Apple's not touching, and there's features in the Apple ecosystem that Samsung's not touching. So it's a matter of what side you prefer and what features you prefer. You know, at this point, you know, Samsung ecosystem is just as good as Apple's, but it's not being said by a lot of people because, you know, what happens is that people tend to take features that iOS have, and if nobody else has it, then they say that it's better on iOS completely. iOS has this, they can do this, they can do that, but they don't really think about the features that the other competitor actually offers over what that, you know, the other competitor offers, because Samsung offers a lot. What Dex does, you can't do on that iPad at all. This is a whole different ballgame when you boot into Dex, comparing it to an iPad for work or anything else. But there's a lot of things about Apple that has good things, and a lot of good things about, you know, Samsung as well when it comes to ecosystems. I personally don't care for neither ecosystems. Most of the features in the systems I do not use. The only features I use on both, that both have, is using your tablet for calls and text messaging, and also, text messaging, and as well as using Quick Share or Nearby Share, and as well as using AirDrop, and, you know, well, I don't really use iMessage, but you know that. So that's about it. I'm not like one of those people who get caught up into the ecosystems where I can't get out of it. I love too many products, way too many products to be tied down to like one ecosystem and buy everything, because everything that Apple makes isn't great for me. Everything that Samsung makes isn't great for me. Everything that Google makes isn't great for me. So I buy a combination of everything that I love from anybody, and I try to find a middle ground to make it work together, as in me using Telegram as my messaging app with all my family and friends and anybody else who's okay with downloading the app, instead of telling me go buy an iPhone so I can use iMessage. So I use this on all my devices, and it makes my life a lot easier, as well as theirs, if they're okay with downloading the app. I get it that some people be like, I don't want to just download the app just to talk to you, why don't you just get an iPhone? But you're talking about free versus, you know, $800 to $1,000, you know, and that doesn't make sense. So with that being said, you know, ecosystems are great. I'm gonna grab this back again because this is where my notes are at the current moment. All right, so everything else, you know, I just want to say that this has become my favorite tablet, mainly due to my art. I do art on this tablet. Let me get rid of Dix. I do art on this tablet, and this is one of my latest drawings right here, and I love art. Now, for a long time I was drawing on the iPad. I love the iPad. I didn't have any problems drawing on the iPad at all. Then one day Samsung was like, hey, here's the Galaxy S7, S7 Plus, you know, check us out. And I'm over here like the nerd in me like, man, iPad is better, bro. You know, and I just wanted to stick to my iPad. So, you know, one day I just went down to Best Buy and just said, the hell with it. Bought this Tab S7, came home, grabbed the S Pen. I was a little discouraged in the beginning, not by this, but I was more discouraged because I was trying to find a drawing app that was better than Procreate. I couldn't find anything. I was just like, oh, Sketchbook, all those other ones are trash. You know, I'm okay with buying a premium app. I got money. You know, I'm not saying I'm rich or anything like that, but I'm okay with purchasing apps. I don't have a problem, especially if I know that I'm going to be doing something consistently on it and I want that premium drawing experience. And I couldn't find that up here, but then I ran into Infinite Painter. Did I say that right? Okay, Infinite Painter. And it's on both iOS and, you know, so I started drawing on it on iOS, and I also found it on Android, but then I started using it on iOS as well because I was still kind of going through that, still drawing on my iPad, going here, going here, going here, going here, and then you know, one day I just gave up over here because the one thing that is different from me using this to draw and that to draw is not even like the latency or anything, because all of that matches. Everything is perfect. It's literally the pens. This pen, this Apple Pencil versus the the S Pen, it's a different ballgame for me. First, this is premium, yes. This feels like, I'm gonna bend it. This feels like trash. I give it to Apple for making a premium device, you know, premium pen, a pencil or whatever. This is trash, but this feels way more comfortable. I can draw on this for hours with no problem. And speaking of hours, I don't have to charge this. This, when I'm drawing for hours, I have to eventually put this on the charger for a few minutes to get some charge to continue drawing my art on, you know, continue finish with my art. But other than that, it's this. This right here is the real reason why I switched over completely. This pen is way more comfortable, is way better. I do love the fine tip. When I was in school, I drew not with a pencil. Well, yeah, I drew with a pencil, but I drew with a mechanical pencil. This right here gives me that, I feel like I'm at home with this. This right here feels like, not the number 2 pencil, but one of those big old, thick old pencils. You know, back in the days when you used to pencil fight and you had that big old, thick one right there, the big red one. This is what this feels like right here. You know, you fucking up some people's pencils. I know about that pencil fighting. But yeah, that's the deciding factor. And, you know, another thing I want to touch upon real quick is that, you know, the magnets up here is not that strong, okay? Especially, you know, mounting this way. I will worry if I was carrying this without a case or anything like that it may fall. And that also goes for the back, okay? It's not as strong or whatever. And, you know, but I don't worry if I have a case or whatever. But, you know, that goes also for the Apple Pencil too. Despite of what anybody said on YouTube and how I feel about it, this pen is not as strong either. This magnet, you know, I'm barely touching this. It's gonna hold, you know, if I'm just setting it there and I'm being still. But, you know, if I was carrying my iPad like this, I would worry about this pen falling and getting lost, and I don't know, you know, not knowing that it dropped. So it's not, you know, as strong either. Either or, it doesn't get a pass for me. But, you know, I use cases and stuff like that. So I use, you know, the book cover or whatever to cover that up. Also with the iPad, also have this case right here, and I feel more secure that it's there and it's magnetized, charging and everything else. Also, you know, I have the Logitech case where you can put it up here, and it has a keyboard, which is a way better keyboard than the Magic Keyboard, even though I haven't used the Magic Keyboard. Yeah, because this is the main reason. See, this helps for my drawing angles. So drawing is important. So the Magic Keyboard is out the question for me. And the book cover does exactly what I needed to do. I'm mad that this is the only option for Samsung, for at least for me, for art or whatever, because, you know, I like that I can do this with the angles and stuff, but I like this part of the case. I don't like the keyboard part. Kind of not that great. And then I bought this case right here for that's the iPad. Where's my Android one? Alright, there it is. Alright, so I bought this one as well. This one holds the pencil here, which, you know, of course I gotta have it on, but it has a stand, but that's the one angle. That's it. That's the one angle. And normally when I draw, I flip it like this and have it like that, but that's still one angle. Can't adjust it. So pretty much sucks for me. So probably won't be using this again. It was just the first case I bought and while my book cover came in. So back to this. Yeah. So that's my thoughts on S Pen. S Pen is great. No latency issues. I know I see a lot of arguments online about latency, this and that to the third, but theoretically, you know, both of these are exactly the same. No problem drawing on any one of them. You know, it's just about what app you want to use and what pen feels more comfortable to you. I am not saying this pen is not comfortable, but over time it feels big and bulky when I'm drawing. This is so light that it's no wear and tear on my hand. I prefer the tip on this one better than the tip up here. Some people like the tip up here better, which is fine. But I still would recommend an iPad all day. You know, in fact, I have a hard time parting with it, though I don't use it. It sits in my drawer 90% of the time of the day or the week. I barely even take it out. Maybe I take it out to update it and charge it at the most and update the apps on it. But it goes back in my drawer until I can find use for it. But until then, I definitely crossed over from using the iPad and then using the Galaxy S7 series. And I will be getting the S8 series as well. And I may stop there and use that for a couple of years before I upgrade again. Because normally with my iPads, I just keep them for a long time. They're, you know, tablets normally last longer, and I don't be so quick to jump up on a tablet, a new tablet like I do my phones. So yeah, hit search. So yeah, other than that, I hope you enjoyed this review. Well, excuse me. I hope you enjoyed my little experience video, because this is just my experience. It's not a review. Other than that, talk to you later. Peace out.